Hello and welcome to the last episode, the last chapter of your favorite podcast. This is not forced inclusion. Today we have a special topic that is named Traditionalist Education Secularizes and Perpetuates Gender Stereotypes. So I want to ask to our partners if they're okay. How are you?
Of course, we are okay.
Yes, I'm very fine.
Thank you, Alfredo, for having me here.
So let's start this conversation with a very interesting question. Have you ever been victim of gender stereotypes?
Um, well, me, by myself, I could say that yes. It was on my practice weekdays that I was discriminated by my principal, and it was very hard due to you do not expect that this kind of treatment from someone who is in the education and talks about inclusion, diversity, etc. So uh, this principal told me that I'm not a real example of a teacher. Why? Why is it? It is because this principal thinks that my long hair is not a cord. It is not very related as a teacher, as a male teacher. So this is a keep promoting a stereotype. So this is by myself, and I don't know if Ceci or David.
Well, I think I can speak about the same experience that like I was having with Mario. A same experience like him. It was also a principal, but she was more, how to say it, more comprehensive about the problem. But the whole trouble of it was me that I had a long hair, I was a male teacher, and that I was also not putting a good example because children from first grade of basic school, one of them wanted to have long hair too, and the mother was
Against that?
was in favor of that,
Oh.
but the principal didn't want that. So to prove her point, she wanted me to cut my hair during my practice, just to not have any problem or give them more incentive to be
With the parents.
to be more, how to say it, to be more, to chase that subject,
Okay.
like to press the principal on it.
Okay. And Ceci, do you think that here in our institution are stereotypes, gender stereotypes?
Well, yes, it could happen when the jornadas, for example, most of the teachers, many teachers say that the girls have to wear special
Shoes.
shoes,
The high heels.
the high heels, exactly, and that is very difficult to walk in the classroom and pay attention to all the students because you have to be here and there, that and something like that. But in my case, I would say I expected I have, how to say, I have to seen this, but not, I don't have any personal experience. I'm just see it.
Oh, okay. You only are a spectre.
Yeah, I'm fortunately,
Fortunately, yes.
I'm a spectrum.
Yes, because it demoralized me myself because, as I said before, it is not what you think or expect from a principal or a teacher. And you, Alfredo?
Actually, I hadn't been discriminated by the normal or by a practice school for my appearance, but I think for me stereotypes have a special place. It's also if I don't like them, because I really like to have a little change in my appearance, in my look, but if I get a little bit longer my hair, I probably get problems here, and that's the thing that
3 years.
stops me from having changes in me. So I am not victim directly, but the stereotypes really affects myself. So
Yes, in a psychological way.
yeah, the society really involves you and say you what have to do, but just based on stereotypes. For example, the principal you have, he's basing just in stereotypes because the program, the syllabus says nothing about it,
Yes,
about
it is
how the
totally
teachers
different.
have to look physically. Yeah. Instead
And
of it, the syllabus talks about include everyone in the classroom.
gender equity.
Gender equity, that's the importance, because when we talk about long hair, it is a gender stereotype. Men don't have, well, they said men doesn't have to wear long hair, but there is no statement, there's no reason, logical reason
Yes.
in this century that could help us to understand why men can't wear long hair.
Yes, and Kim and Weasley, 2017, a course that male educators report they often face prejudice for violating traditional gender stereotypes, specifically feminine ones. So, gender stereotypes are divided in four dimensions: the traits, the role behaviors, the physical characteristics, and occupation. So, David.
Well, Mario, I would like to also add some little bit of context here that considering the many texts of the Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights, the OHCHR, then to 2020, it describes a gender stereotype as also being a generalized view or preconception about attributes or characteristics that are ought to be possessed by women and men, or the roles that are or should be performed by men and women. Not only it should be like how to say it, appearance. It could be also roles.
Yes.
How you act in
The formation.
during school. You know.
Yes. Something you wanna add, Ceci?
Well, I have some examples that, in my opinion, I consider very ridiculous. Like,
A common opinion
A
from
common
society,
opinion.
from the perspective of society, not for us.
yes, we take into the everyday life, according to the Gender Equality and Human Rights Unit of the Judicial Branch of the State of Tamaulipas, 2019. Some examples are: women are sentimental while men are rational, and therefore should not cry or show their emotions. That is very dumb, if I can
Yes,
say
it
it,
is.
because we are human beings. We have emotions. We have
Feelings.
We have anything of that. We cannot just be.
Actually, there is a song from Miguel Bosé that says "Los chicos no lloran," so maybe it could be a gender stereotype.
Of
It-
course.
And I have other that women are more emotional than men. Sorry. Therefore, they are made to dedicate themselves to the formation of children and care for other adults.
Okay.
That's a very common, because this especially I have perception myself from other people in my family that if you don't want kids, you're not a good
Really-
woman.
Yes.
You don't have the, if I can say in Spanish, the instinto maternal. And I think that's very dumb again, because not everybody wants children. That is not their goal.
Yes,
the
it
life.
is irrational.
And for example, for the last example I have, the man should be the sole economic provider in the home. That is basically impossible in this modern society where everything was so everything prices was
More expensive.
more expensive. Everything was more expensive. How do you can think of you are the man, so you are the only who brings money to the home?
Yes, it is. It is not enough for a family.
No, it's
So-
not.
Now you mentioned before the types of
Paradigms,
Hmm?
stereotypes.
yeah, you mentioned that one of those was occupation, and I just came to my mind the exclusion we have as men in these studies, in this career, because most of the people study here are women.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And we as men are a minority, and often they see the community most as a community of women than a community of men. And that it's exclusion, discrimination here in the normal, in an environment built by teachers, for teachers. And that's kind of curious.
yeah.
Well, as UNESCO states in its Global Education Monitoring Report, the seeds of stereotypes are sown in education, and education is where the solution lies. I think that our roles as teachers becomes quite essential when it comes to providing quality, gender-neutral education that promotes students' welfare and respect for professional standards.
Okay, David. Yes. To finish, in order to finish with this chapter 3, OSDAN 2012 says that it is generally accepted that the stereotype knowledge is acquired early in childhood. So in this case, by using inclusive education, these kind of stereotypes do not have access in our classrooms. So by practicing more inclusive education, watching with another eyes, with a diverse eyes to every single human and their way of sharing their personality, we could finish with these paradigms. So, or therefore, inclusive education is very, very important for our society, because we have to stop with these stereotypes. So, I think this is all for the chapter 3. Thank you very much, Alfredo.
Yes, I want to say that this conversation was a rich one by sharing our experiences. I really like it, and I hope you all like it too. And remember, this is not forced inclusion.
Thank you, Ceci and David. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Goodbye.